In breaking news, Upwork has increased the maximum number of connects to 16 connects for certain jobs. And in this video, I'm going to break down what this means for you and what you can do for it as well. The first thing that comes to my mind is that Upwork is becoming much more expensive to operate. And why is that? Think about it for a second. If the maximum number of connects now is 16 connects for certain jobs, that means to buy those connects, obviously you're gonna have to spend more money because it's not just 6 connects anymore. You have to spend at least 16 connects. That's number one. Second point to take into consideration is that the bidding process still remains. So for example, if you apply for a job, someone can outbid you to boost their profile, and you may have to outbid them to boost your profile. So in that scenario, you may be spending a lot more for jobs. And then now you've taken into consideration is that Upwork still takes their 10% too, right? So if you have Upwork taking the 10%, you have now the maximum number of connects being 16 connects, and then you can still boost your proposal as well. So if you have to spend more on connects over there too, it's becoming much more expensive to operate on the platform. The second point that comes to my mind over here is that Upwork is looking to eliminate or reduce the number of non-serious, non-committed individuals on the platform. And the reason why that is that Upwork makes more money from those individuals who are committed, who are consistent, and who are long-term on the platform. What happens is that when Upwork becomes more expensive, when you're looking for jobs, those who are irregular on the platform, they're not going to make enough to afford all the fees that Upwork's taking out. So they have to make a decision. It's either all in or all out. And for a lot of freelancers, they may simply say, you know what, at this point in time, I'm all out for now because I just simply can't afford it. Or it's going to force freelancers to say that, okay, I see what's happening over here. I need to go all in to survive. So what this is doing now, it's forcing you to make a decision of where you want to be with Upwork. And the third point that I see over here is that it's forcing freelancers to change the strategy. I remember before, and even now to this day it exists, many freelancers, their strategy is the strategy of, I'm gonna be the cheapest option out there. And sure, to an extent that works. But what's happening now is that when Upwork is raising the number of connects that you need for a job, Upwork is introducing the bidding process as well. And on top of that, they're taking a flat 10% fee, which is much more than what it used to be, because back in the day, Upwork had a tiered system where they would take a certain percentage at a certain point, and then at the end of it, after you made $10,000, they only took 5%. But now Upwork all across is taking 10% from the beginning, and no matter how long you have that client, 10% until the end of that time. So what's happening now is that when it's becoming more expensive, you need to change your strategy. You can't focus on being the cheapest freelancer in the industry, because it's just becoming much more expensive to maintain that status. Now that we understand the implications of what happened, let's look at some of the things that you can do to address that scenario as a freelancer. And the first thing that I recommend off the bat is that you need to really reconsider what your rate is and look for a possibility to raise your rates. The reason why that is, it's simple math. If Upwork is taking a lot more from you in the name of fees, in the fact that you have to boost your profile and the number of connects you have to give, then you have to raise your rates in order to ensure you still make a certain amount that you want to make on a weekly or monthly basis or whatever your goals are. And the second point I can give over here is that if you're not committed to Upwork, you need to go all in. You have no other choice, because at this point in time, if you're not committed and you stay on the sidelines and you come in once in a while to apply for a job, maybe look for a few things, and then you're absent again, you're not going to survive. So if you have to make that decision, go all in, because this is the time and Upwork is forcing your hand right now. So if they're forcing it, that means that what they're saying is that, listen, if you're on this side over here right now, you're not going to make it and you're going to get cut. But if you jump on in over here and put in that work, you will be rewarded. And the last point that I say over here is that Upwork is forcing freelancers to change their strategy. As I mentioned before, a lot of freelancers came in with the strategy of cheaper is better. But now that perception has to change. And what I recommend for freelancers is, rather than focusing on that strategy as the way to get jobs, instead focus on different strategies. Focus on making yourself the expert in the industry. Focus on having specific skills in the industry that other individuals don't have though. So what I recommend from over here is that you need to change your strategy. And if you are doing this, avoid this going forward, which is the cheaper is better strategy, because eventually you'll get wiped out. And if you get wiped out or it becomes too expensive to maintain that strategy, it becomes very difficult to pivot when you market yourself to different clients if you've been doing something a certain way for a very long time.